All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below as usual. Damn it, BGS. This one's entitled Urban Struggle versus Suburban Struggle. Hopped on the BGS hangout. Young brother was talking about his struggle, and this one sparked this video. This not no disrespect to you, but I just got to put this out there. There's a difference between an urban struggle, hood struggle, and a suburban struggle. See, it's a lot of stuff going on right now where people don't know where they came from, or where they not necessarily where they came from. They don't know where they're at compared to where their family came from. So there's certain things that went on in my life. Like I was born in '79, the end of '79. And what happened was I got to see the 80s crack era, 90s drug era, and the switch between this luxury hood living that we got now that people are so upset about. I understand the baby boomer disdain because I got baby boomers in my family who blew it purposely. But my anger towards them is more predicated on the fact that I was raised by my grandparents, so I know where they came from too. And I know who dropped the ball and how they dropped the ball and why. But also I came up in a different way. I got to get a piece of all of that stuff. So when it comes to poverty in America, I know it, but I don't know it on the levels of my grandparents. But I'm gonna tell you, this is what I mean. Urban struggle. I know what it's not like to not have toilet paper. To get the crumble up newspaper to use it as toilet paper so it's soft enough to wipe your behind with. I know what it's like to not have newspaper and have to hold it and go outside and look for some leaves to wipe your behind with. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to pluck roaches out the cereal, oatmeal, or the grits box to eat breakfast when I had food. Like literally, I'm gonna backtrack. A couple of days ago, my mother called me and she said there was a sign where she's at, and it was like a sign of a kid who, like a kid who was an American kid who was kind of starving, and it was like basically one of those tug at the heartstring things. Some kids don't have food to eat. My mother gave a kid money for food because she saw the advertisement and it reminded her of me. You get what I'm saying? And that's my mother, and I was raised by her mother, and I was raised with her maybe completely when I was like my high school years, freshman and senior year. That's, compared to suburban kids, they don't understand that. Y'all don't know what that's like. I grew up, black and white TVs when the remotes had two clicking buttons, one on this side, one on that side, still type of bottom and shit. When TV actually went off, and I knew what it's not like to have TV, turning the channels with the pliers, putting aluminum foil on the things. A lot of y'all don't know what that is. A lot of y'all don't know what it's like. Like I didn't eat beans for 10 years because I was so mad that I ate beans every day because we didn't have nothing else but beans. I felt like I did something with my life that I didn't have to eat beans every day. And this was when we had food, mind you. Like I think $1.67 is is the change my grandmother would expect to get back from when she would send me to the grocery store to get like oxtails, and before oxtails was a delicacy and the price went up. Green pepper, green onion, stuff like that. Bring me my change back. Y'all don't know what that is. Y'all don't. Like, y'all don't know what it's like to put batteries in the freezer. Y'all don't know what it's like to have sneakers and have your old toothbrush, save your old toothbrush, and use it to wipe your sneakers because you're going to have them for a while to keep them clean. Y'all know what that's like. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't. Like, I have a washer and dryer in my house. There was a time where I I had to, I wash my clothes in the house. Like same thing with the baking soda. Like that was toothpaste and deodorant, and you could use that to wash your clothes too. And I had to wash my clothes in cold water and by hand and hang them up. And if in the wintertime we didn't have heat, so I had to. A particular winter we didn't have heat. I had to put my clothes on a dryer, dry them with a regular like fan, and I wasn't allowed to bring the fan outside of my room. So I'm drying cold clothes in the wintertime, with a fan in my room. Which by the time I got to high school was the first time I had a fucking room. Y'all don't know what that's like. Some of y'all don't realize. Some of us grew up in an era where, and I said, and I didn't. To me, I didn't even grow up that bad. I'm be honest with you, compared to other people. Some of y'all don't know what it's like to have your toy collection be half of Happy Meal toys and cereal box toys when it had the prizes in the inside. That was like half of your toy collection, or if not more. Y'all don't know what that's like. Y'all actually had toys growing up that you got from the store. Like that was a great thing. And some of y'all don't realize when I just said this, fast food was an event if you was poor. That's why the toys meant so much. Because not only did you go out to eat, you actually got a toy as a kid. You didn't have toys to play with. You had an imagination. We didn't. Your toys was your imagination, dog. Like, some of y'all didn't come from violent environments. Like, I remember I was on the phone with my best friend when I was staying in Chicago, and they had a shootout outside of my bedroom. And I'm still going on with the conversation. He's on the other side of the phone, say he started ducking at his house, and we don't live on the same block. But I was so accustomed to the shooting, it didn't, like we've actually walked into or through shootouts. Like it's nothing. Like no offense, but some of the things that y'all are saying y'all struggle from, and a lot of times that's why we can't relate to the suburban struggle, like people like me, because guess what? If we had your hand, we'd be way farther in life than you were. Like, I came from where I came from to the suburbs. And I watch people in the suburbs stay in the suburbs and never elevate. I don't understand that. And they have this entitlement complex. I didn't get this, I didn't get that. What? Like, I could spend maybe $300-$400 on my son's clothes in a year. And I'm buying, and he's a child. And I'm just saying at a minimum. You get what I'm saying? At a minimum. That's probably how much that was spent my whole 4 years of high school combined. Like, y'all didn't struggle like that. Is it like when people used to say, I'm from this place, it used to mean something because because people knew how hard it was. Now when you say you're from a place, somebody got to ask you at what time period. Because it ain't to be trusted. I'm from such and such. When? What years, what's the era, what years were you from? Like, what I mean, like, let me go back. My grandfather was bedridden because he had a stroke. But he was a vet of the Korean War. Now, my grandfather grew up in Jim Crow. Okay? Went to war. Came back. My grandmother, God rest her soul and his soul, they had like 15 kids. 4 of them lived. And one of them died at like 18 months. So my mother and my aunt and uncle are basically the 3 surviving out of 15 children. And some of y'all don't get how difficult that was. Some of y'all think y'all don't know where y'all come from or the people y'all come from. You know, y'all got all these manufactured issues that you to have issues now. You got to have a suburban struggle is having the ability to have the luxury to have an issue in the first place. The urban struggle, you ain't even got time for your issues. You don't. You know, like I walk to school. I know the difference between walking to school and riding the bus. I know the difference because I walk to school. In the wintertime when the buses wouldn't run right by you because they were trying to get off, or they would run right by you into the white neighborhood and let you walk. I know that. You know, the classrooms that didn't have heat in the winter and turn the heat on in the spring if I went to summer school one year. In the summer school, in the summer. This is how they taught you. The metal detector schools, you know, the guns, you know, the dogs, the gang division. What was your struggle, really, in the suburbs? What was it? You know, for you other people, well, I grew up like that and I'm not black. Did cops try to shoot you as a kid because you was black? No. Did the teachers try to throw you out of school for being smart enough to make the honor roll? No. Y'all have a suburban struggle. It's not the same. That's why people don't understand some of y'all complaints. Like, you know, I know what it's like to wear hand-me-down clothes. I know what it's like to not know my size of clothes because I wore hand-me-down clothes to the point where I didn't need to know my size because I wasn't getting no fucking clothes for my size. Y'all don't even know that. Y'all had a room. I was in high school the first time I actually had a bed to myself. I grew up in the bed with somebody on the couch or on the floor. And some of you people come from other countries. You know, oh, we're immigrants. We came from it. Listen, we do know this about some of y'all because if you grew up in a harder environment, y'all were the suburban kids of y'all communities. So we could survive in your neck of the woods. You can't survive in your neck of the woods. So we don't even want to hear that from y'all. Because you know how I say this? Because a lot of y'all don't appreciate the little things. See, a person who's been through it can appreciate the little things. You can appreciate eating twice in a day or once in a day. If you had a struggle, you can appreciate that. You can appreciate actually being able to go out to eat. It was a fucking miracle that we got pizza. Some of y'all don't even get that. You know, some of y'all don't understand that some of us like going over our friends and family members' houses because they had stuff like food. Their kids had toys. You know, they had a yard to run in. Stuff like that. Their parents had a car. The AC worked in it. Like, y'all don't get that. Like, y'all really don't get that. You know, y'all didn't have roaches in your food. Like some of y'all, well, I can't eat that. It had insects in it. Nigga, what? I bet you if you have, obviously you ain't been that hungry. Some of y'all still could pick over the bread end to get your good slice. Motherfuckers didn't have that option. You get hungry, you gonna eat that end. It'll be a gourmet end. You know, y'all, expiration dates on food. That didn't count. Hey, what? 5 days old, nigga. I don't give a fuck. I'm hungry. Scrape that fungus off of that. You remember people smell the milk? Strain the milk out and keep the chunks in. And if it's too bad, that's when you use water. Like y'all haven't made a meal off of flour, salt, and sugar. Obviously, you haven't. Because y'all don't have a struggle. And we're not even talking, and think about it, I haven't gotten to the things in society as far as having, you know, the bare necessities, books and school and shit. Y'all, how many of y'all studied with a candle because the lights wasn't on? Outside, under the The street light. Y'all didn't do that. And everybody wasn't a drug dealer in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like that. There were people who wanted to be in the streets who was in the streets couldn't even afford the guns. That's why they was whipping ass everywhere. They just taking everything. To take everything to get the money to afford guns and knives for the street life. Just strong arming people. That's all they had. Had to strong arm their way up to be a regular gangster. You know, like y'all don't get it, man. You know, some of y'all don't know what it's like to you know, have to write very small in a notebook because you're gonna have to have that notebook for a very long time. You know, there was a time when I broke my wrist dunking at noon. I ran home crying. My grandmother called my mother. My mother was at work. She couldn't get off until 5 because, you know, they don't let black folks off, especially if your kids suffering. So I had to wait till 5 till she got off for her to be on the way back home, which took her an hour to get home. When she got home, she had to take me to the hospital, and then they put on the cast. I don't have pain tolerance like some of you kids do. I hurt my... No, because I grew up in the fucking hood. When if you suffered, you suffered. The only time I really got rushed to the hospital was when I was playing in the house and I jumped and I slid through a glass screen door and I cut my fucking throat. I needed to go that fast. See, some of y'all don't know. Some of y'all think y'all suburban struggle is a hood struggle. It's not. It's not. And it's okay that it's not. You know, like, it's okay that it's not. And some of y'all believe that some of these people who from the urban environment actually was struggling. We know the difference. We absolutely know the difference. Some of these people in this urban, y'all pretenders. You know how, like, if you really grew up rough and you really grew up in the hood, the people that come around pretending like they're hard, you want to blow their fucking head off. That's what you really want to do. You know, being urban and hood is fashionable now. The same people who want to pretend that they hard, you know, I got some tattoos, I got me a fitted, I put it back like this, some mean mugging. They can't survive there. That's all for show. Because people really from that environment, they couldn't afford fucking tattoos and fitted hats in the first fucking place. You got cheap hats from the corner store. That's why people had do-rags and wife beaters, because they sold them at the corner store because you couldn't afford going to fucking Walmart or Target. See, man, some of y'all don't know that. Some of y'all really think shit's sweet out here. And like I said, I'm a latchkey kid. I get up every day because I got my own clock because we couldn't I didn't have the clock with the batteries out. We had the clocks with the batteries in it, the alarm clocks, the tap. Couldn't afford the batteries. Had to learn how to wake your ass up. Shit, I got hand-me-down electronics. You understand that? When people had CD players, I had a fucking a tape deck and with the 1200 record player. When people had CDs. Y'all don't know struggle, yo. And like I said, everything that made me struggle. Like, I was in high school in the 90s. I graduated in the 90s. The late 90s in my high school, I ran track. We had a gravel track. Y'all don't even know the fuck. Y'all ain't seen a gravel track unless y'all look at Jesse Owens clips of old Olympians in the 60s. Y'all don't even know what the fuck that is. A lot of the stuff y'all complaining about, it's lightweight. It's like the lighter stuff I told you. Compared to some people I know, that's stuff I'm describing is lightweight. And compared to my grandparents, it's really lightweight. Man, y'all got to get it together, fam. Because if y'all really think, I'll show you what tough is. I tell my son this shit all the time. I grew up so hard, my dad went to my neighborhood when I graduated high school, and he was like, nigga, this how you was living? And he called himself a project motherfucker. I'm just saying.